Hello and welcome to U.S. Cricket Daily, the world's first podcast dedicated to Major League Cricket, America's premier T20 franchise tournament. I'm Peter Della Penna, and with me is Aaman Patel.
Yeah, Peter, it's great to be here with you. And who's excited? I'm excited for this Major League tournament. We're here to bring you all the latest updates on this tournament, and I'm just so excited for what this tournament will be.
And why not? Because after season one of MLC, everybody's eager for more, falling on the back of the World Cup. And we're going to bring you U.S. Cricket Daily in association with Clyde Hill Publishing and its book imprints, Clyde Hill and Pulley Press, which are dedicated to founders, innovators, thinkers, and tinkerers everywhere. Pre-order our book on the rise of Major League Cricket in America at ClydeHillPublishing.com. And we're picking up fresh from the T20 World Cup and USA's magical run to the Super 8 stage with the start of Major League Cricket Season 2, which kicks off today. Coming up, we'll be joined by Aaron Jones, USA's World Cup hero from opening night against Canada, as well as the Super Over win over Pakistan. He was part of the Seattle Orcas squad, as well as being vice captain for USA and stand-in captain for the bulk of the tournament after the injury to Monang Patel. He's joined by Orcas co-owner Sanjay Parthasarathy, looking ahead to opening night. MI New York, of course, beat Seattle Orcas in the final last year, so it's a grudge match for the Orcas trying to get revenge, and you'll be there for it, Aaman.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm here in Mooresville, North Carolina. The ground looks great. They've done it even better than what they did last year, and I'll be there to give you exclusive interviews and just thoughts and behind the scene access throughout the tournament. So make sure you catch us on YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Facebook at US Cricket Daily. Please follow us, hit subscribe, rate us, and review us because it really helps, and we're here all tournament long.
And a reminder for those of you who are new to MLC, who might be joining us, there's a lot of newcomers, a lot of new fans in the cricket world on the back of the World Cup. I'm sure you met more than your fair share of them, Aaman, at the various venues you were at during the World Cup. I know I certainly did as well. And for those who might be new to cricket, whether through the World Cup or through Major League Cricket, just to give you a bit of a background about the competition, it's a 6-team tournament whose first season took place in 2023, held in Grand Prairie, Texas at Grand Prairie Stadium, as well as Church Street Park in Morrisville, North Carolina. And those 6 teams were the LA Knight Riders, MI New York, San Francisco Unicorns, Seattle Orcas, Texas Super Kings, and the Washington Freedom.
Yeah, and those teams were great last year. Having the fan bases, I thought were really phenomenal. You talk about, I think the Texas Super Kings probably left the biggest sound in your ear. I think that's probably the best way to describe it with all the whistles that they had last season. And you know they're going to come right back again, that yellow army. And MI New York had a great fan base. I thought the San Francisco Unicorns, they were the best dressed. I mean, there's so many horns out in the audience, and the Sparkle Army was what they called themselves. And so they were coming up with chants and whatnot. The Washington Freedom announced their new kid, and they kind of gave those away a little bit. So I'm excited to just see all the different colors and branding that's going around all throughout both venues and all tournament long.
Well, you mentioned the whistles, but also the branding. For me, probably the best piece of merchandise that was handed out for free, by the way. This is one of the great things about Major League Cricket. They take care of the fans inside the ground. The bucket hats, the yellow bucket hats. Yeah. For the Whistle Podu Army and the Texas Super Kings Army in Grand Prairie, those bucket hats, you probably could have charged $25-$30 for them. Instead, they gave them away for free, and people couldn't get enough of them.
I had so many people texting me, Peter, hey, can you get me a bucket hat? Can you get me a bucket hat? And I'm like, I can't get myself a bucket hat. I'm here, a couple hours before the event, and I still can't get myself a bucket hat. So those things are flying through. So make sure if you guys want to get yourself some merch, get there early. Because that yellow bucket hat is a hot commodity. And I hope they bring it back this year. I'm excited to see the new things that they'll have in store, the flags, the whistles, the whole nine. And again, there's a lot of interesting stories with these teams too. Think about the LA Knight Riders. They're looking for their first ever win in Major League Cricket, and we'll get to see them try to do that. And then MI New York trying to go back to that. I mean, that's always a great story in Seattle. They're looking for a little bit of redemption, and they'll have a chance at it on opening night.
LA Knight Riders, yeah, they struggled in season one. Far cry from MI New York and the heroics of Nicholas Poron with his century in the final. Do they need David Hasselhoff to come in with kit? Do they need the actual Knight Rider to come in and help them, get them salvation, get them on the win column?
I don't know if they need David Hasselhoff, but they've brought a couple of overseas to help them out. I mean, you talk about David Miller. I thought that was maybe their biggest transaction over last year. He was originally part of the Texas Super Kings, and now they bring him here. And you know that how he is such a finisher in T20 cricket. So to pair him with Sunil Narayan and Andre Russell, and then you think about the bowling likes of Adam Zampa, Spencer Johnson, and then you think Jason Roy opening the batting as well. That team has now a couple of bats that you're looking at in the middle, namely David Miller, where they struggled a lot. That middle order really struggled. I think now you can beef that up a little bit and give yourself a good opportunity for your bowlers to get back in the game.
Now, in terms of star power, we saw that's from North Carolina during the World Cup. Rohit Sharma going to collect the trophy, did the Ric Flair strut, and Ric Flair, the nature boy, woo! Gets on Twitter, shouts out Rohit Sharma. Aaman, he's a North Carolina guy. Is he going to come out to Marshall? What's it going to take to get the nature boy out to support MLC?
Oh, I hope he comes out to Marshall. I actually was, I don't know where I was exactly, but I remember I was with the team down in Barbados that we were with, and I was like, oh my God, Ric Flair just shouted out Rohit Sharma. And no one could believe that happened. Like, it's such just a wild connection that is. And so I hope he comes out to a game. I think he would be awesome to talk to. I think he'd be awesome I think his vibe would just be really cool. And I think whatever franchise he jumps on, I think would have just an absolute bash with him, just because he's gonna do some crazy antics. And the WWE guys are gonna do what they're gonna do. And if Ric Flair is bringing it out during an MLC game, I'm here for it.
We need him styling and profiling, Aaman. We need him doing all the Ric Flair greatness that everybody's been accustomed to over the years. In terms of greatness, there was plenty of it in MLC Season 1. Obviously, again, Nicholas Poran's century in the final put an exclamation point on the season, but there were a lot of other special performances, and guys like Rashid Khan, fans couldn't get enough of him in Texas. They couldn't get enough of him in North Carolina. He was really special, as he is with the Afghanistan team, coming off the back of their semifinal run in the T20 World Cup. Everybody's going to be excited to see him. But there's a lot of new faces as well. And at the top of the list, Glenn Maxwell, Pat Cummins from the Australian squad are coming into MLC for the first time this year, as well as Steve Smith, Travis Head. It's the Australian invasion. And who out of that group do you think is going to make the biggest impact coming in for MLC Season 2?
Out of that group, oh man, I think there's a lot of interesting questions. I think Glenn Maxwell is just so interesting, right? Because he can have one of those incredible innings. And I thought he started to pick up a little bit of form at the end of the World Cup. Travis Head's in great nick, and so I think he got to Morrisville yesterday, and I think he is someone that you're always going to look at as, okay, he's going to make a big splash. But someone you didn't mention, Jake Frazier McGurk. I mean, talk about the year he's had through franchise cricket. He's with the Sparkle Army in San Francisco, and so he's going to be up top, batting high for them. And I'm excited to see him. I think just the flamboyance that he brings is something that the league is going to really enjoy. And so I think what he brings, talk about in Texas, you have the likes of Aiden Markram joining the league for the first time. So there's a lot of really interesting faces. I don't think there's anything more flamboyant than the Rooster and Jake Frazier McGurk, though.
Well, those are some of the big overseas names that are going to be part of MLC Season 2. But one of the biggest names in terms of the local players is a guest on this week's episode, somebody who is a World Cup hero for USA, born in New York, but he's got Bayesian heritage as well, and got a chance to captain USA down in Barbados in the Super 8 stage. But it all started on opening night with his 94 not out off 40 balls against Canada. The cross-border rivalry came to life in Grand Prairie Stadium in Texas, and the person who was on center stage, Aaron Jones, the hero for USA on that night, who helped propel USA into the Super 8 stage. We spoke with him, along with Seattle Orcas co-owner Sanjay Parthasarathy, as the squad gears up for opening night against MI New York. Thank you, Aaron and Sanjay, for joining us. Tell us, what's the atmosphere like in North Carolina coming off the back of the World Cup as you guys head into Season 2 of Major League Cricket?
Pretty good. Everybody is happy in the camp right now. We had a practice game yesterday. Obviously had a few practice sessions as well. So yeah, everything is good right now. Obviously coming off of the World Cup, we had a pretty decent World Cup. And me and Harmy, obviously, we now joined back the camp for the Orcas for the second year in the Major League. So everything is good right now, and we're ready to hit the road running on the 5th.
And you say everything's good right now. I gotta ask here, Aaron. You're sitting next to the guy who was involved in cutting you loose from the Orcas after season 1, and then magically you found your way back into the squad only after you scored all those runs against Canada and Pakistan. Is everything forgiven between the two of you?
All is well, all is well. So it goes sometimes in franchise cricket, you know? That's how it goes.
Peter trying to start drama. What else is new, right? It's what Peter Della Penna does best. But obviously, you guys had a really successful season 1. The World Cup drew in a lot of hype for cricket in the States. What do you expect from season 2 in terms of just the crowd, the atmosphere? Do you expect it to compare to what you experienced in Dallas, New York, and Barbados?
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's going to be really good, to be honest. I think during the World Cup, we've gained a lot more fans, especially the Americans, which is really good for us. So I think it's going to be good. Normally, playing in North Carolina, we know we get a lot of support here for sure. So I think it's going to be really good at both stadiums this year. And we're just happy to be here and we're ready to go for sure.
How has life changed for you, if at all, since the start of the World Cup?
That's a good one. I think right now, I'm getting a lot more focused, to be honest. My social media been going crazy. I've been getting like crazy calls, a lot of messages, stuff like that. Definitely, obviously getting some more opportunities as it relates to coming back to the Orcas this year for the Major League. So yeah, I think things are looking really good for me right now personally, as it relates to my career going forward and cricket in general. So just happy to be here and just want to continue performing.
And Sanjay, for you, from an ownership side, how have you seen things change leading into season 2 as an owner, considering what happened with the USA squad in the World Cup and how that's impacted the attention and the reception that the Orcas and Major League Cricket as a whole is getting?
Yeah, I think it's accelerated cricket in the U.S. by a couple of years. I think last year, Major League, we were at the end of the season, all the owners felt that the whole project being accelerated by 2 years. Now the World Cup, 2 more years. Hopefully the Olympics, 2 more years. And before you know it, in 5 years, not 15, we've got enough infrastructure, we've got enough grassroots interest, and we've got a national team that's winning, which I think is probably the most important part.
Yeah, and also Sanjay, sticking with you here. Obviously, the World Cup you said has acted kind of as a catalyst. How have you you guys have been really involved in your community. How important is that to you? I've seen the net bowling videos, that was a really big deal y'all made. And then picking up 2 youth players and Ali Sheikh and Ayan Desai. How important is it for you and the ownership community to just keep kind of pushing and spreading the Orcas, not just in the international sphere, but into the roots of the Seattle community?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to get it into the schools. You've got to get the grassroots going. You've got to get the infrastructure built, and you've got to have a great national team, right? But the grassroots, I think, are super critical. So one of the folks in Seattle has started this new program to get cricket into schools. He's starting to get it into a handful of schools, and we'll go from there. Another guy, Sheil, you probably know Sheil. He's got this concept called cricket in a box, where we just go leave it in schools, or we leave it in bars, we leave it in communities, and people just pick up and play stuff. And so that's the kind of stuff that we think is important. It won't show right away, but in 5 years and 10 years, when the infrastructure is ready, when the national team's winning everything, that's when all of these three things together is going to make it pretty awesome.
Aaron, just going back to the World Cup, especially the day of the Pakistan match, everybody knows what you did against Canada, and that was significant from a personal standpoint. But the Canada match doesn't really come close to what happened in the Pakistan match as a team, and how that was a springboard for gaining so much popularity and recognition for the national team as a whole. That day, the thing I remember most is how hot it was. And a lot of people don't remember. Looking back, they think it was such a monumental moment in U.S. cricket based on the result. But when you were batting out there in the super over, the stadium was half empty. because it was so damn hot. Everybody said, we can't take it anymore. We have to go home. And you were only out there for half hour, 40 minutes, but you were so exhausted. And at the end of the super over, you didn't even come out to field because it was that oppressive. The heat in Texas that day was by far the hottest day of the tournament of any of the venues. So I'm just curious, looking back now, close to a month later, what do you remember most about that day against Pakistan and the battle that you had to go through, not just against the Pakistan bowling unit, but the elements and the heat and everything else that was going on that day?
Well, I think for me personally, to be honest with you, playing against Pakistan, we never really was studying anything about the heat or the weather or anything like that. We just wanted to win the game. We knew, obviously, over the last couple of years, we've been speaking about playing against more full member nations, and that was a great opportunity for us. And to get in a position where we could actually win the game was like amazing. And then outside of that, every single game you win at the World Cup is very important. It's not a case where it's a very long tournament that you have 15, 20 games. So every single win is very important. So we wanted to get over the win against Pakistan, and that was my main focus at the time. As it relates to the heat and stuff, I wasn't studying about the heat at that time, but I definitely know it was a really, really hot day for sure.
And which of the two matches, when you look back, do you remember more? I mean, which one stands out more to you just looking back now a month later, and what do you think you'll remember more going forward over the years? That opening night against Canada, which was so incredibly special, being the opening night of the tournament as host and your role in that day and that night, obviously, or the Pakistan day 6 days later?
I think a bit of both, to be honest. I really and truly can't say which one I'll remember more, but obviously the Canada game was really special for me coming in. Obviously, we needed like 12, 13 runs over, which is not easy. And then obviously the first game of the World Cup, all eyes on the World Cup. And then obviously Canada is our rivals as well, so definitely don't want to lose to them. So that was a very important knock for the team and myself, and I think I'll remember it for life. And then obviously we can't throw the Pakistan defeat, obviously, up through the window. That's a very important thing for us as well, because coming off of winning the series against Bangladesh, everybody say, okay, maybe USA playing home is fine, they got advantage, whatever the case may be. But then to come and beat Pakistan now, really and truly back it up to tell everybody in the world, okay, USA really and truly have the potential to play and compete and win at this level. So I think both are equally important to me, and I'll remember them for the rest of my life for sure.
Just one more thing on that game too. Wasim did not play that day for Pakistan. He's in your locker room now with the Seattle Orcas. Does he give you any stick saying, we only lost because I wasn't there that day? If I was there, you guys wouldn't have beat us. Do you push back?
Honestly, knowing him, me and him are really good friends. Knowing him, he didn't say anything as yet, but I know it'll come eventually. I know it'll come eventually for sure. But he didn't say anything as yet.
I'm sticking with you. Obviously, you got to captain the side down in Barbados where you grew up playing cricket. That was kind of a special moment for me to hear the national anthem in Barbados. That was really cool for me. What was it like to captain the team, not only throughout the World Cup, throughout the last couple games of the World Cup, but also to do it where you grew up playing cricket?
Honestly, it was a very special moment. It's unbelievable, to be honest. I would have never even imagined firstly playing for USA in a World Cup at Kensington Oval against West Indies, playing against the guys that I play first class with and against and stuff like that. It was it was crazy, to be honest. But I really enjoyed it. Obviously, I have a lot of support in Barbados for sure. So a lot of people been wearing like Jones shirts. And they say that, okay, I want you to score 100, but I don't want you to beat West Indies. All sort of crazy stuff. But it was really good, and I definitely enjoyed it for sure.
Yeah, and Sanjay, for you, obviously, there's going to be a lot of new fans coming into Major League Cricket. Why should they support the Seattle Orcas? Why are the Orcas the team that they should start to follow and start to really cheer for?
Because we're America's favorite cricket team, Aaman. It's a little bit tongue in cheek, but also it's aspirational for us. I mean, we want to do the work. We want to earn that tag, and developing cricket in the U.S. Is kind of our mission. And by doing that, we're hoping that, we will be the favorite team. I mean, look, we're the smallest market of the 6 so far, right? And so our voice has got to be louder than our size. And that's what we are in Seattle. We hustle more. We do things and we earn the respect. So.
You've also got the best mascot. Don't sell yourself short there. Yorka the Orca. Come on.
We've got 2 actually. So you're gonna see him for the first time at the opening game, I hope. So we've got 2 mascots. One's a surprise.
We got a teaser heading into opening night. Watch out. Have you seen the surprise mascot lurking around Morrisville?
I haven't yet. I actually just got back to Morrisville maybe a day ago, so I'm still kind of in the loop. I'm seeing all the renovations that they're making at the ground right now and everything. But I'm excited to see the new mascot. Obviously, Yorka the Orca was such a great name and whatnot. Speaking of that opening night, what are your expectations? Obviously, from the team, but also from just the atmosphere, the vibe. What are your expectations for the opening night of season 2? For whoever wants to answer.
We've got a team that's just come off the World Cup, and a lot of pressure, stress, especially for the South Africans in our team. And we've got 4 South Africans in our team, right? And so for me, what's really important is to just keep it mellow, keep it kind of calm, keep it just not stressful. The last thing we need right now is kind of stress and kind of expectation. So we're just letting it flow, and it'll happen.
Yeah, I think obviously, like what Sanjay said, a lot of guys in the squad right now just come off the World Cup, and to be honest with you, everybody really and truly had some good performances in the World Cup. So we all in good form. You just need to make sure that the camp is good and nice and mellow, as Sanjay said, and hit the ground running. It's really important that we start the tournament on a high for sure.
There's been a couple changes in the squad. I'm curious for you, Aaron, of the new faces in there. Ali Sheikh is the one that's most prominent amongst the U.S. scene. 21-year-old left-arm spinning all-rounder who a lot of people are eager to see getting a chance to play for USA at some point, but he's got an opportunity now with the Orcas after having sat on the bench all last season for LA Knight Riders. You've also got Obed McCoy, Ryan Rickleton. Is there anybody who's a new addition along with Michael Bracewell as well who you've had an opportunity to interact with so far in the team training sessions leading up to opening night that you're most excited to be a part of teaming up with in this season?
Most excited to, I think I've had a few conversations with Michael Bracewell. I think he's a really good guy, and he's been really and truly doing really well at practice. Obviously, this is the first time I've been in a team with him, but I think he'll do really good throughout the season and bring a lot of experience to the team for sure.
And Sanjay, a similar question for you as an owner. Which player out of those do you think is going to be the most significant and impactful addition of the ones you made in the offseason?
I keep my eye on Zaman Khan. He's very interesting, and keep an eye on him. Have you all seen him? Have you all seen him?
Well, we're gonna see him. He's a 22-year-old fast bowler, so could be potentially taking up one of those overseas spots. He's got competition, obviously, with team balance. That's something that obviously comes into the package with Quentin DeCock, Cameron Clausen. Obviously, they're going to be playing, and Michael Bracewell and Imad Wasim played a key role. Wayne Parnell as well last year. So, depending on team balance, you seem like you're hinting that he's gonna be in the starting 11. He's gonna be one of the 6 overseas on opening night, though.
I have nothing to do with the team. One of the things that worked for us last year is that the coaches make all the decisions. We stay out of this, and it's a good thing. But I mean, Zaman's special, and so let's see what the coaches decide. But if you see him play, you'll understand why. What do you think, Aaron? You saw him yesterday.
Yeah, I think he's a really good bowler, to be honest. Obviously, I saw him playing at the leagues as well and for Pakistan as well. He's a very skillful player for sure, and I definitely think he'll bring a lot to the team.
You mentioned the increase in popularity you've had in terms of messages and social media growth and all that, have you had any marriage proposals going to your DMs, Aaron?
No, not that I saw. I think I missed a lot of messages as well, to be honest, but I didn't see any as yet.
Yeah. So you're saying there's still time?
It is possible. You never know.
You know, after what you did at the World Cup, Aaron, you're North Carolina's most eligible bachelor at the start of MLC 2024.
Let's see how it goes.
He was just telling me about your girlfriend.
Uh-oh. Cat's out of the bag. He's off the market, folks. Well, Aaman, that means Aaman's North Carolina's most eligible bachelor then. Aaman's on the market. What do you have to say, I guess, then, Aaron, if Aaman's speechless? So what else do you want to say to fans and anybody else following Major League Cricket for Season 2 about what they can expect from you and the rest of the Orca squad?
I firstly would say keep supporting us, keep following us. That's very important for the players, for the management, for the whole squad in general. For me personally, I'm going to play hard cricket as usual, fearless cricket as usual, and try to do my best. I want to win some games for the team, definitely. And I think this year is the year for us to really and truly win the cup. Last year we got close, obviously losing in the finals, but this year is our year to really and truly lift the cup and bring the cup back home to Seattle.
Well, there you have it. Take no prisoners, the Seattle Orcas. You can see it in the eyes of Yorka, the Orca. He's got the red eyes like laser beams. He's going to shoot down the other mascots, and the Orcas 11 is going to take care of business on the field as well. Aaron Jones, USA Vice Captain, and Sanjay Parthasarathy, Orcas co-owner, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Zaman.
Well, Aaron Jones broke the hearts of many Canada and Pakistan fans in the opening week of the World Cup, and he might have just broken a few more hearts with the news that he's taken ladies. He's got a girlfriend, so I hate to disappoint you, but Aaron Jones, we thank him for his time leading up to opening night against MI New York. He'll be part of the Seattle Orcas squad, looking to make an impact just as big as he did in the World Cup for USA, as Season 2 is about to get underway for the Orcas and the rest of Major League Cricket. And coming up on our next episode, we'll be sharing post-match analysis of the opening night clash, the rematch of the 2023 final between MI New York and Seattle Orcas, as well as match 2 from the opening day doubleheader, where the Texas Super Kings taking on the LA Knight Riders at Grand Prairie Stadium in Texas. Plus, we have journalist and cricket fan Piers Morgan will be on the show with us on Monday, so stay tuned for that early next week. And don't forget to rate and review us, hit follow and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time on US Cricket Daily.